the broadcast.
Player One Podcast just started a broadcast.
Holy crap! Are you? But how do you know?
I wouldn't lie to you, CJ.
Warning.
You know these things so quickly.
I started a live stream, which started the whole world crying.
Really? Crying?
But I didn't see that the joke was on me.
All right, I'm gonna start recording.
God.
Well,
Wait, I need to do
I did
the
that.
Audacity. Come on, open up.
That's how we do it.
I am also recording.
I am also recording now. I am recording.
Ha 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 ha.
I
God.
look to the sky,
Why? Why does it
holding
just...
my hand.
That's what this is going to be.
over my eyes.
That's what this is. That's what our show is now.
Crawled out of bed,
Yeah.
holding my head from things that I said.
Uh-huh.
So I finally died, which started the whole world laughing.
All right. Clap time.
It's the Bee
Can we do it?
Gees.
Yes. Let's do it,
dudes.
please.
It's the Bee
All right.
Gees.
3, 2, 1. Boom!
Get the clap.
Hello and welcome to episode 520.
Yeah,
That's for
it's always
Tuesday.
520 somewhere. Yeah, blaze it. Blaze it.
October 25th, 2016. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, for 10 glorious years, all the way from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward. Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on our 10-year anniversary, CJ.
10 glorious years.
We have put up
This
with Phil for 10.
Yes, and joining us from California, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Yeah, what's up?
This is not quite your 10th anniversary, though. That
Nah,
Not quite.
left.
Not quite.
Yeah, but my weeks count a little extra because I put so
Do they?
much vim and vigor into the show.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would say that, but okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Tinkle and vinegar.
Can you believe it, though? Really, like, we've done an episode a week, every week.
More or
I think
less.
we've missed, like, 1, maybe 2 weeks.
we've missed. I'd say we've missed less than 5 weeks.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we've made
less
up.
than 5 weeks. Yes.
We've usually made up for it with, like, multiple episodes during PAX. We did that. So,
Yeah.
520 of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's wow. What a
That is wild.
That is
That is
weird,
wild.
wild
That
stuff.
is-
I want
that
to
is-
say
that is a big
thank you
waste
to
of
everybody
time.
out there in listener land for listening to this show. Whether it's been whether you've been with us for all 10 years or only a little while, thank you very much for putting up with the editing and the voices and the skitching and the baldness, all that stuff.
Did somebody say skitching? Did somebody say skitching?
Yeah, 10 years. 10 years. That's good.
Yeah,
Long run.
thanks.
We've had a good run, and thank
Yeah.
you. Welcome to the last episode of the
It's gonna be
show.
a great final episode. Yeah. We get that out of the way before Phil says it.
Yeah.
Toodaloo,
And now
chumps.
Ethan will be joining us apparently later. He's
Just like
In
he
the
did in the
car.
last 10 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we can kick it off, right? We can get this party rolling.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty lackluster 10-year anniversary episode. Like, there's nothing happened this week.
It's
So
pretty light on news, actually.
yeah.
Let's get this party started.
I only have two things in here, which is
Really?
unusual.
Well, are
Um,
you guys? What do we want to? Do we want to talk about? Do we want to cowboy up first?
Let's cowboy up. Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
this. So last week on the show, Rockstar Games was teasing an announcement via Twitter,
Mhm.
and then they went ahead and did it last week. They announced
Went
Red
ahead
Dead
and announced on
Redemption
Twitter.
2.
Rockstar knows how to manipulate the gaming press, don't they?
They sure do.
Let's just, you know what? Today we're just going to tweet out a picture of our logo. Let's just do
on a
that.
red background.
And that's going to give us
not wait for the new Lion King game.
That's going to give us one full day of coverage.
I was awaiting Bully 2 because, of course, it's like the 10th anniversary of Bully.
Yes.
And not yet the 10th anniversary of us promising to do a game club on it, so we're still fine.
Close, though. Close.
Give it close. Close enough. But yeah, they announced Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Then they said there was just going to be a trailer on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Was there?
Yep.
Which there was. Have you watched it?
No.
I did.
It's only like a minute long. It represents almost nothing.
You know what, Greg? It's a Rockstar trailer, so you get. Yeah.
So right now I probably know as much as I'd know if I watched the trailer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cameras panning past backgrounds.
Yep.
An occasional character maybe walking a little bit.
Sounds awesome.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Camera pans past a different background. There's some music playing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's basically buckle up for a year's worth of trailers like this one.
Yeah.
Where you won't really see much gameplay. Really just like they did with the original Red Dead Redemption. Wasn't there like a long time where all we saw were cinematics? We didn't actually see gameplay. I mean, that's pretty standard for Rockstar announcements in general and the lead up to the release of those games.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say, Greg?
I don't really remember the lead up to Red Dead Redemption.
You don't?
No, I know everybody. I know that's like a classic and everything. I never really played it.
Oh, really?
I never paid that much attention to it, to be honest.
Oh, it's a good game.
I heard it's quite good.
But even with Bully, they did a similar thing where they didn't show the gameplay until basically the thing was out.
I mean, that worked out so well for them because it let Jack Thompson whip the whole world into a frenzy.
That's right.
Because it was clearly going to be GTA, but in a high school.
It's a Columbine simulator, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's what Bully is, right?
A bullying simulator.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, not so much.
It's not really that.
Yeah. And that was really all the news that happened last week. There was really nothing else. So
let's go on to what you've been playing and get the tweets out of the way so we can go to bed.
I think that counts as our Bully game club, too.
I think it does.
I think so.
I mean, it counts because that's pretty much what you're only ever going to get. So,
I would like to see a Bully sequel that has a female lead, like a Mean Girls type thing. That would be fun.
That would be.
That's the Bully 2 that I want to see.
Yeah.
So,
well,
then when that's announced, I will promise to play Bully.
Although, do you trust? You trust the folks at Rockstar to handle a female protagonist?
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Really?
Because Red Dead Redemption 2, no female characters shown in the teaser, right?
Well, no.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
No female gunslingers.
Nope. Well, there weren't such things, were there?
God, I don't know. Were there?
Annie Oakley.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Billy the Kid, but Billie. You know, the kind of the what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and others.
Sure.
You know, Janie got her gun.
That's a song. It's not real. All right. Well, let's talk about the other news.
Let you stop him.
Let's talk about the other news of the week. Because on
March
Wednesday,
2007, are you ready to make the change?
On Wednesday night, we got an image from Nintendo of America saying that they would be revealing the new system tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, so 1 hour earlier than the Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement or the trailer for that hit. They would show a 3-minute long video.
Yes.
Their next system.
I so wish Ethan was here right now.
3 minutes. Boy. Why is that?
Just because.
Portable gaming saved.
Thank you. There you go. No, it wasn't portable gaming.
No. Mobile.
Mobile gaming.
Mobile gaming is saved. Finally, a system I have. I can sit and have my off-screen play.
Okay, so
these games are going to be
slow down. Whoa. Just hang on.
You're getting into spend capping and sunsetting, and it's not right without Ethan actually here.
Okay.
So then this was not going to be set up like a Nintendo Direct presentation. They were saying come to Nintendo.com at 10 and see all the details, which
promptly went down at 9:58.
Yeah, promptly brought Nintendo.com down. I had
it's almost like people wanted to know.
I had to go to YouTube and refresh their channel page, and when the video showed up, I just hit play.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that means that of course, I saw the name before anything else. The name, of course, of the Nintendo NX is now Nintendo Switch.
So what do you think of the name? I liked Wii U better.
Really? You liked what?
No, okay, you're not understanding. You're not understanding what the point I'm trying to make. I didn't like Wii U either.
Oh,
so you don't like Switch?
Better
on the scale of how well you like things. Wii U beats this.
Yeah,
by a hair, maybe.
Yeah,
it's
on a scale
pretty unconventional name for sure.
On a scale from let's say poutine is up here, and American democracy is down here. Where does it fall?
That's quite a scale.
I would still rather play the Switch than vote for Donald Trump.
Okay.
So does that? I don't know if
I like the Switch name.
I really like it too, actually. And I will say, oftentimes with video game system names, I don't like them out of the gate. GameCube, I didn't really like. I didn't like Dreamcast for sure.
Nobody liked Dreamcast.
Yeah, Dreamcast is weird. Don't get me wrong.
I didn't like Xbox,
but it grew on you quick.
You say I liked Xbox. Xbox made sense.
Xbox was kind of just generic enough to work.
Yeah. It sounded cool, to be honest.
The letter X is cool. I don't know if you know.
I liked Wii,
especially in the late 90s, early 2000s.
It was the 90s, and there's time for Xbox?
That's not
how it worked at all.
So, Eurogamer's leak. Pretty much completely true.
Yeah, it was kind of
true.
Anticlimactic, really. It was like, oh, okay, so that 3 minutes just proved that everything we thought was real?
Yeah, it's a hybrid system. The games come on cards. Or cartridges, as the Larrabee lock indicates.
Mm-hmm.
It has detachable controls.
What are they? What are they called?
Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons, because of course they are.
Yeah. What do you think the game cards will be called? Because Nintendo's going to have their own. Now they're going to have some sort of cutesy name.
It's labeled game card on the actual system.
Yeah, I think it says.
Oh, is it really? It's just game card.
Yeah,
that's
it's using that crappy plastic hinge setup.
Yeah, that the Vita
has, right? That's too bad. But anyway,
yeah,
I guess that's normal now. I guess I don't know.
It looks easier to open. Anyway, there's a little bit more of a.
Where do you get that from?
Give there for your nail to.
Why? Because in the highly edited video you watched, he didn't have trouble opening it. Is that how you know that it looks easier to open? Come on, Johnston.
Yeah. He wasn't straining on the video.
It's not like an infomercial where the simplest of tasks cause devastation.
Right. Yeah. Even the kickstand from the Eurogamer leak proved to be true.
Yeah, which I mean that always made sense because we've been seeing those on tablets for a while. So
Android tablets, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it only makes sense for it to be there. It made sense to predict it. So yeah,
sure. And the release date is still March 2017.
March 2017. I was a little bit shocked to see that. And I'm happy. But I was a little bit surprised. Yeah. So good for them.
Pretty surprising. Good. Yeah.
I think.
CJ, real quick, what do you have there? What are you drinking?
Coke Zero, of course.
This 10th anniversary episode of Player One Podcast brought to you by Coke Zero. CJ and I are both enjoying.
Yeah, it's a refreshing Coca-Cola Zero.
That can look so much bigger in your hands, Phil.
There you go. What she
said. Looks like a baby can in CJ's giant meat hooks.
my little. I have baby hands.
You don't want my hands on the Nintendo Switch in the Switch video.
No,
Just,
that would
bad.
not be.
Meaty, sweaty.
So let's talk about the video.
So
shall we?
I think
Hold on, let me watch it real quick.
Nice. I think it was really interesting that they didn't show any children playing it.
Yeah,
it
right.
didn't look like a Nintendo video, and that's not to say that it looked bad. It looked really cool, actually. It was very well done, but it didn't look like something you'd expect to see from Nintendo. It wasn't very happy, bouncy, cutesy.
Let me stop you right there.
No,
because if you'll remember,
the
Wii, the promo video for the original Wii, where we didn't actually see a gameplay screen, we saw various people playing games and reacting to them and jumping behind the couch and things like that. There were not a lot of kids in that either.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Good point.
And kind of the same for the original Wii U announcement trailer, but there was nothing in that. Like the Wii U announcement was so confusing.
Yeah, it was.
And it didn't even show the console. It didn't make it clear what the
that it wasn't
tablet
just a new controller
was. It had all sorts of non-gaming applications like looking at photos and swiping things on the TV, and they just muddied the message in that video. This to me was a return to that original Wii video where they showed off the system with a few games. They showed all of the different ways that it can be played. Starting, I think, with the most important thing, which is Nintendo's marketing message, even in their announcement on Wednesday night of the video, they said, come back here at this time to see Nintendo's next home video game console. They didn't say, come to see the portable. And the first thing that they show you
have 3DS games to sell.
Yeah, the first thing that they show you in the video is somebody playing Zelda on a television with a traditional looking controller.
Yeah. What I was getting at though is just that it's like, yes, you're right. It was all kind of young adults playing the Wii U in that original video as well, but this just has more of an upscale look to it, I found. So I mean, very, very nice, very slick, look good.
And I mean, I will agree. It's certainly different than the Nintendo Direct style in the past year or so, and different than even their commercials, even their commercial marketing.
Yeah, it's just a totally different sort of vibe for a Nintendo video, but in a good way.
Indeed.
Wait, the Vive works with this?
Vive.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Yeah, it's Sony's portable system.
That makes sense.
Right.
The Vita 2.
Yeah.
So we got images of the system being used in various settings, and of course the system can be played on a television, or you can detach the main screen to take it with you. The first instance of this is we see a guy taking his Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild game on a walk with his dog.
Yes.
Because that's where you're going to play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Because you can't take 5 or 10 minutes to take the dog out. You have to bring the game with you.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how is he juggling the tablet that he's playing on and the dog leash. Does
he doesn't have it on a leash, right? You see it running past in one of the
It's a good dog.
Oh,
he's a good dog. He's a good boy.
Does he just set the thing down when he has to pick up the dog's poop?
No, he's one of those people who doesn't scoop it. Yeah, I mean, he's a Nintendo player. You kind of,
the screen has a nice smooth surface, so you can just scoop it up and carry it over.
Well, you detach it when the Joy-Cons. You don't even have to touch the poop.
You know what? Some third party is going to sell a peripheral that clicks into the side that's a pooper scooper.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for your dog park.
So
and it lets you play Nintendo Switch.
That's what he was playing, Nintendogs,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of the different configurations that you can play this thing in?
It looks really cool. Being able to go from on-screen to off-screen by just sliding those little Joy-Cons in the side of the screen and everything. I mean, all very nice. The design of all of it is really, really good looking.
Yes, super slick,
very classy,
really, really slick.
Yep. Not
also two shoulder buttons. You got 2 on the left and 2 on the right.
Yes, 4 shoulder buttons. So
That equals
that was
4. Yeah.
for me.
Four
Actually,
shoulder buttons.
because we've talked about this before, and I've mentioned many times how I feel like they need to draw third parties back into the fold, and I feel like that was definitely one of the goals with this, like showing. Even though Skyrim and NBA 2K are not actually officially announced for the system, but showing them in the video, I think that was part of that whole idea. And when you look at it, it's got all the same buttons as the other 2 major consoles right now.
Yes.
There's no weirdness involved. There's no, okay, if you're going to make something from the Nintendo console, not only is it, not powerful enough to just port your current games to without a lot of crap, hoops to jump through, but oh, by the way, you've got to take care of motion control or screen controls or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like,
none of that.
It's a good step. It's a good step back, which the Wii U was as well, because even though the Wii U had sort of the gimmicky touchscreen thing, you still had all those buttons. So now hopefully the power of this thing is close enough, or the architecture is similar enough that, the Activisions and EAs and Ubisofts of the world can release.
Well, they're on the partner
yeah,
list.
but those lists never mean anything. We all know that. They
That
were
is
all
true.
they were all on the partner list for Wii U, and they were all on the partner list for the Saturn. I mean, who cares?
Well,
Yeah.
It's never meant
See
anything.
what actually happens.
But yeah, the
I think
thing is that
you
it's
mentioned
a step back.
you mentioned the controls and the touch screen on the Wii U. Nobody has shown touching the screen here. It's all traditional controls.
I noticed that. That's what I mean. I feel like that video was very much like, this is not like any other system you've ever seen. Really, it looks closer to a tablet, but it's like they were trying to avoid drawing that comparison too much by not showing any sort of touchscreen interface.
Right.
Because then all of a sudden it's an Android tablet.
Well, the rumors are that it is a touch screen.
Yeah.
And we don't really know what else the Switch will be able to play, or any information about the social features like Miiverse and whatnot. I'm sure we'll get that later.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was super interesting, the various ways that you can play this thing. I think the system will end up coming with the Joy-Con grip, which is the thing that
I
you
believe
see
so.
the guy first using.
I'm guessing that'll be actually the charger for the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I wonder if it does have a battery inside of it. I would not be surprised if that was the case. And it looks like the Joy-Con grip actually has almost like a standard sort of pad handles on it.
Yeah,
So
it looks like sort of almost the closest thing I could think of is like the shell of an Xbox One controller. Not quite exactly the same, but yeah, it's got the thicker grip on it.
Or like
I love a thick grip.
I think third parties have made these things for the Vita and even the 3DS that sort of strap on the back and give you like a more heft to which those just look weird with that.
Yeah.
It always looks a little weird, but it feels better, CJ. That's the thing. I mean, you got to get past the weird look and just enjoy the experience.
To me, so in the previous generations leading up to now, we've got remote play on PlayStation. We've got cross-buy and cross-play from Sony on PlayStation and the Vita. We've got off-TV play from Nintendo. And to me, this system is like the combination of all of those things. Whereas remote play, had a lot of lag. It wasn't always reliable.
Right.
And also the Vita didn't have enough buttons to accurately play PS4 games.
I feel like
held that back.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the other things that I really like to see, although I'm not totally sold on the idea of the miniature, the two Joy-Cons becoming two mini controllers, because they don't look comfortable in the least.
Right.
But I like the whole idea of, hey, if you want single screen multiplayer portable, this is a thing. Like, we can do this. It's another nice touch. And yeah, I mean, it definitely sidesteps all the sort of issues that any off-screen play system has had up to this point, which is lag and
the lag and
brings
in the
back
Wii
couch
U.
multiplayer. I love it.
In the Wii U's case, lack of portability at all. You can't
Well, yeah, I
bring
mean, the
that
Wii
thing
U
more than 30 feet away from base.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which definitely hurt that
Yeah.
for sure. But talking about multiplayer,
I feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, talking about multiplayer, it looks like the Joy-Cons, when detached, actually do have little shoulder buttons. I don't know if you've seen.
I was curious about that.
On the top. So in a game like Mario Kart, you could potentially get most of the button functionality in the small Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just use a larger controller for multiplayer. You could always bring 2 Pro controllers.
That's the thing, though, that I'm a little bit curious about. I mean, I'm glad that the screen is as big as it is, but it doesn't look like. It looks like you're still going to be carrying around the system and a bunch of bits and pieces to it. You know what I mean? Like those. I don't know if you're going to keep those Joy-Cons attached the whole time. It'll want to be in a case, I would assume, if you're going to do that. You know, like.
Right.
Yeah. That's what is the screen plastic? Are they going with like a glass screen? Because that would be an invitation for some breakage. Yeah. There are definitely details we don't really know all that much about yet, but
Right.
I would expect, if I'm bringing this thing along with me, mostly to not bring like a separate controller with, especially since, they showed the guy on the plane playing with the screen on
sitting
the
in a
tray
seat
table
with like 3 times the leg room you normally get. I have to point out.
That's true.
He must have been in an exit row or something, because holy crap, that
That's
thing was like a
definitely
mile
true.
away from him.
But then the Joy-Cons he had at his side, basically, he wasn't holding the system up to continue to play.
I like that. That
Right.
seems to be like you have options there, right? If you want to play it more like a traditional portable game system, you could do that too. Obviously,
Yeah.
So, yeah, like that a lot.
Yeah, and it has a Pro controller as well. That looks very much like the Wii U Pro controller, except the analog sticks now are asymmetrical.
Do you think the Wii U Pro controller will? Do you think the old Wii and Wii U controllers will work with this thing?
I doubt it. No.
Yeah.
No, you don't
I
think at
don't
all?
see that happening.
I don't. I
That'd be
can't
too bad.
imagine it.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're making a clean break
Yeah. This
from
is gonna
all
be,
the Wii stuff with this system.
the fact that they're ditching the name kind of implies to me that they're not going to bother with any sort of backwards compatibility or anything.
Is that
like
Ethan telling you he's almost home?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So I do think that it was really telling that I realize now why they waited so late to announce and show the name of the system and what the system can actually do, because it was the 21st anniversary of the release of the Nomad, which is exactly what this system is.
Of course. Makes perfect
They
sense.
wanted to celebrate.
Rattle off the features. The Nomad had them 21 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Games on cartridges, check.
Yep.
Controller
Multiplayer,
ports.
check. Play on the TV, check.
Crappy
Unplug the
battery
TV,
life.
check.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect system released in 1995.
I picked one of those up for I think $79.99 at Toys R
Great
Us.
system. Had a crappy
Close-
screen, but it's a great.
Closing those out.
But it did
Yeah.
all this stuff. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Sure.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's
Since the release of the Game Boy, the dream has been taking your console games on the road,
Yeah,
right?
which,
Like that's
which was accomplished in 1995. That's all I'm saying.
1995 with the Nomad.
Yeah.
But leading up to now, with remote play, I mean, people have started doing that more and more. And now we can take our actual console games on the road. We don't have to settle for Uncharted Golden, whatever that thing was.
Uncharted Golden Showers.
yes.
Yeah. And the situations they showed in the video were, of course, very everyday, right? I
I was
mean,
gonna say we're all very not
Well,
totally plausible. No,
I mean,
I'm always looking out the window and seeing my girlfriends having a roof party across the street, and
and
so
you
why not?
definitely,
playing b-ball with my friends when we break out our portable game consoles and
Yeah.
yeah.
Enough of this real basketball. Let's gather around and
this is way too much exercise. Let's gather around and play video game basketball for 2 hours.
Yes. Now, the thing I wonder about with that footage there is they were showing obviously 4 players playing.
Mhm.
I do wonder if it was 2 copies of the game on 2 switches, or whether it was a sort of download play situation where you had one system that had the game and you could have 2 screens with 4 players. Because that can be real interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
The other
All right.
thing, the other real thing that I worry about is, I mean, what I think anybody with multiple players in their household would worry about is the whole account system. Or if
Well,
you're
here's the
crazy,
thing about
or
that.
if you're crazy like Ethan and going to buy multiple systems for every member of your family.
You know
Yeah.
what's terrible? Is my wife suggested buying 2.
Oh no!
This wasn't even me. This wasn't even me trying to talk her into it. My wife actually said, "Ooh, you know what? Maybe I'll get my own so I can play Skyrim." So
See, there you go. There's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right
But
there.
I actually don't think that the Switch is designed for that kind of use case for you to buy 2 any more than any
what
other
home
console system
is?
has been designed for that. So
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
it's not-
saying
to me,
people
it's
are
not-
crazy.
to me, it's not like the 3DS or the DS or the Vita or anything like that. I think Nintendo more than likely will have an account system on your one Switch in the household, and you'll switch between users, kind of like you do with the Wii U.
you'll do what?
You'll switch users on the Switch.
Oh.
See, but then we get back to here's the problem with that is that I agree with you that they're smart, and we've talked about this already. I agree with you that they're smart, that they're not coming out and immediately saying it's our new portable console because they don't want to cannibalize the remaining life the 3DS has in it. Plus, you know, it's definitely a home console thing, but you're not going to get away from the fact that it's a portable console.
Right.
It is a portable console.
That's true.
And it looks like
Yeah,
a
but
tablet.
you're not. My thing with that is you're probably not going to buy, let's say, a Nintendo Switch that's just the screen. I don't think they're going to offer that.
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying that's the case. But
Right.
what I'm saying is that you also, for as much as they're trying to make sure that it doesn't look like an Android tablet, it looks like an Android tablet. So,
Right.
you've got sort of a level of expectation there. I think they're gonna run into this, where you get a level of expectation there, where it's not uncommon for families to have multiple tablets in the house.
True.
Right.
Right.
And then you know, or you look at. I mean, I personally only have real experience with the iPhone and the iPods and everything. But you know, having a family account on that and being able to have one account across multiple devices, that's a thing. So I still think it's going to be an issue, and I do not have faith in Nintendo that they'll get it right. Maybe I'm wrong, but because they haven't so far, and they're moving closer and closer to a tablet, a mobile device.
Yeah.
No matter how much we want to say no, they're not. Yes, they are, and I
do you
think you're going
figure?
to have a level of expectation there. CJ is going to say no, they're not, because that's what Nintendo's saying, but they are.
No, I'm saying they're
it
not
is a
going
tablet.
to sell. I'm saying they're not going to sell the Switch by itself without the dock. So
Yeah, but
if they're expecting you to put one dock in front of one television, then to me they're not positioning it as mainly a portable system.
Yeah,
I
see,
do.
That's what I'm
obviously
saying.
it
They're
is.
saying that, but
It is a
it's
portable
tablet.
system. Yes, but then you're going to have to buy multiple systems, like you know, buying
Yeah, but
multiple
see,
Wii U's
the thing is, what you're calling the dock the system. In what you just explained, the rationale is the dock is the system. The tablet is the system. The
Yes,
dock
you're
the
right,
dock
you're
is an
right.
accessory.
that's going to be sold with
That's
the
going to be
dock.
part of it, sure. Just like when you buy an iPod, you get headphones and a charger. I mean, it's an accessory that comes with the thing.
Sure,
Right?
Sure, you're right.
So
you're right.
it's still a tablet. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Is that they're moving closer and closer to that space now. They were flirting with it with the Wii U. They're going full on now at this point, and I think that it's going to be interesting to watch because there's going to be, I think there'll be expectations surrounding not only the sort of account system, but also what you can and can't do with the thing.
Meaning
and we don't know. We don't know if there's like a camera on it. We don't know what there is on this thing. We don't even know
not
for sure
appear
that
to
it
be
has
a camera
No, there didn't, and we don't know for sure if it has any sort of
or
touch
a microphone
thing at all. Right. So then I think you run into the whole, if people start, whether they position it or not that way, if people start looking at it as an example, we were joking about Ethan, his Facebook post literally 3 minutes after the trailer was released was Nintendo has saved mobile gaming. If people do look at it the way he's looking at it,
right,
mobile gaming comes with a whole slew of expectations that it doesn't seem like Nintendo is actually looking to fill. Right. So then is it a competitor for a tablet? Because if it's a competitor for a modern tablet and it doesn't have certain features, then it's not going to be worth it.
Well, I think in that, if you look at it as a tablet, I don't know how they can compete, because you can get Kindle Fires for almost nothing. You can get cheap Android tablets for almost nothing, and I don't see them marketing this as that. Now, that's not to say that the Switch won't have tablet-like features with the touchscreen,
right? Because we don't know,
or with the ability to run Nintendo's mobile apps. I think actually that will be the case, and certain mobile games will be available on the Switch. But to me, they can't win in that space like that.
No, I agree.
Mobile computing or whatever, I would stay the hell away from that.
But that's entirely. I think you're right, and I think that is how they'll market it. They'll try to market it as something different. But what I'm curious about is if the marketing can overcome the expectation. Because just looking at the thing, immediately, you immediately make that connection, right?
And it also depends what kind of applications a Nintendo is going to allow to get put on it, because if they allow a lot of free-to-play games or mobile games to be put on the Nintendo Switch, then why would I pay for Nintendo's $40, $50, $60 games? Like, then they're really...
And then the question is, too, depending on what the price is, then you go back to, is this worth it? Because we haven't even discussed what we think the price is yet.
Okay, now we'll take a pause real quick, because Ethan just joined. I want to do another clap right now.
Okay.
So that we've got that.
Yeah.
Ethan, are you recording? Everybody recording? All right, we're good. 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, and of course, even if they did have mobile games on the Switch, those are garbage games. So that's why you would still.
Oh God, here we go.
There we go.
That's why you would still get Mario.
Wait a minute. Who said you were allowed to talk first?
Welcome, Ethan. If people haven't figured that out already by now, I did. I mean, I think.
So wait, mobile garbage games?
Yeah.
Like what? Super Monkey Ball?
That one you can still play now, even though it's not in the App Store. It's not server based, so it was never sunset.
Yeah. I think if Nintendo opened that type of thing, it sort of undermines exactly what they're trying to do with the Switch.
Yeah.
Right, and so that's my point. That we're talking about how we're talking about how on the Wii U how the messaging was so confused and they never really recovered from it.
Yeah,
I think the messaging was much more clear this time around, but in the current retail climate we're in, I think it's still going to get confused.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I think you're right. Right, unless Nintendo doesn't even entertain that possibility in any marketing, because, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Though consider the fact that the tablet market, especially the iPad, is it's gone from going flat to going into decline, and so that to me indicates that they've already proven that there are customers out there that are comfortable carrying around something with a larger form factor. That particular product, I think, overlaps now too much with the iPhone. The beauty of this device is it does not overlap with the iPhone. It serves a fundamentally different purpose. And I think that, honestly, again, I intentionally came on strong as I jumped in, but I think a lot of players kind of jumped into the novelty of mobile, was excited about everything being free, but now really misses the good stuff. And understands there's a reason that stuff's free and wants to go back to good games.
Actually, I do think there is a customer, a mobile gamer, that wouldn't normally play a 3DS or a Vita on the road that is satisfied with free-to-play mobile games.
My kids.
So for them, a dedicated mobile or portable platform like the Switch doesn't make sense. And but then again, I think you're right. I think there are people who played games on smartphones for a while and got tired of it, didn't like the race to the bottom or the current state of free to play, and will accept something like this. I think 3DS sales have been declining, so I'm not sure, how big a space that would be if that was the Switch's only market, and I think that's why they're sort of tying their portable market to their home console market this time.
Right. Well, and again, I just remember a blog from a guy who was one of the most diehard, like, I can do everything on my phone and that's what I intend to do type of guys. And he, at a certain point, just got so frustrated with the ads and the end cap spend and all the nonsense that he went and bought a 3DS, and it had been many years since he had played a portable game on the go on a dedicated console. And he was so delighted with the experience that, he was pushing everyone else to just abandon playing iPhone games as well and get a 3DS. Because no.
I mean, it sounds a lot like you.
Yeah,
it does. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people, honestly, like, they've not been playing traditional mobile, console experiences like 3DS or Vita for years. And when they go back to it because they try one of their friends, Switches, they'll be like, oh my God, this is so much better. I have to go back.
Well, actually, to me, the big thing about this system is, if I'm buying it and I don't have a 3DS or a Vita and I'm just interested in Nintendo's games, now I have the option of bringing it with me. I'm sure there will be people out there who, hook up the Switch who never really take it out of their house.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things you're going to get with this that is definitely a huge boon, which is, right now Nintendo's market is splintered in half, where it's like some new Mario games come out on the 3DS, some come out on the Wii U, and if you want all of them, you've got to have two consoles. Right. You've got to be buying multiple games across multiple systems. All that's gone, which is great. This is exactly what they needed. Yes.
Well, and I agree with CJ that a lot of people will not even take it out of their house, but I bet even within that group of people who will only play at home, a higher than you'd possibly imagine number of those customers are going to be doing it and playing on the tablet instead of their TV still.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people.
Imagine? I don't know.
A lot of people who don't know the quote unquote magic of off TV play or remote play because
it's required multiple pieces of hardware up until now.
Well, off TV play was on the Wii U, and nobody bought that. And then the remote play system on the PlayStation, even though you had to buy two different hardware platforms for it, it was not a great experience, both in setup and usage.
Yeah,
right.
Whereas this will be.
This will be perfect. I mean, there's not going to be any lag. And also, even, I've been an advocate for the longest time about Xbox and Sony being able to go to my laptop. But even that, there's just enough setup, just enough friction to be inconvenient. If I can just snap these things on and go, that's perfect. This is, to me, this is the machine that I'm more excited about than any other in the history of game consoles. And I know how hyperbolic that sounds, and I don't care. Because this, I mean, as somebody that loves the Vita, this thing is friggin' perfect. Perfect. And I can't wait. And I am definitely buying 2 and a third the next year. So all 3 of our gaming family members can have one. It's exactly.
Do you think, though, that this system is made for that type of use case where you're going to buy multiple of the machine? Because Nintendo is positioning this as a console.
Right.
And we're going to rehash the talk that we just had.
No, yeah, and I I don't mean for you guys to step backwards, but I will say that what is most interesting to me, and I'll buy 2 either way, I don't care, but
Sure.
I want to know, like, is that box basically just a charger, or does it store any kind of important information? Because if it can have either my machine or my daughter's machine hooked up to it, and it just doesn't matter, that would be great.
That's interesting. It's an interesting thought. As far as I know, as far as I've read, it only charges and sends a signal to the television, so it doesn't actually have any storage or anything on top of it. But
so then, because we have one HDTV in my bedroom, and we have the main one in the living room. The kids don't have their own TV, but with 2 television sets, if I have 2 boxes for charging and playing, that's super convenient. And again, it's a personal device. So given that it's a personal device, that's something that my daughter's definitely going to want her own, and I'm definitely going to want my own. It wouldn't make sense to share it, I don't think.
There you go. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about the games that they showed off. We saw Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was expected. We saw maybe a couple new shots.
Sorry, just want to stop there real quick. The one nice thing, one of the really nice things, there's a lot of nice things about the fact that it's going to be a March release, but one of the nicest things about it is that means we're not going to be waiting until the end of next year, I assume.
Yes.
For Breath of the Wild. Because that was, to me, that was when the rumors were swirling that they were going to wait until a fall release next year. It's like, to me, that was the biggest tragedy there, is like, oh my gosh, like we just spent, especially this was right around E3, where it's like we just spent 3 days watching footage of what a lot of people think was an incredible looking game, and we're gonna have to wait over a year to play it. Like,
Yeah. Luckily, that does not seem to be the case. And the other thing that Nintendo appears to be doing anyway is bringing some of the Wii U's biggest hits to the Switch.
Right.
Because nobody played them on Wii U.
So people can play them, yeah.
Let's just refresh them and bring them over to the Switch. And that includes Mario Kart, which was shown in the video. And it's a track that's in Mario Kart 8's DLC pack.
Which was very clearly not Mario Kart 8, though.
Right, because they had dry bones in there and certain things that are just not in Mario Kart 8.
They had dry
2
bones
weapons each.
They had 2 weapons, yeah. So we know that it's not exactly Mario Kart 8. And then they also showed Splatoon.
Also not a map that's in Splatoon.
Right, correct. On a new map that's not in the game, and hairstyles on the squidlings that, or the inklings, whatever, that are not in the Wii U.
Squidlings, God.
The inklings.
So embarrassing.
The Squid Kids. So and they also showed off Skyrim.
Yep.
Which apparently...
After not necessarily for the system.
After the video, Bethesda said, "Oh wait, we haven't actually announced this."
Whoa! We thought this thing was coming out fall next year.
The thing is that, just a quick aside on that, I have somewhat mixed feelings about that, because on the one hand, the idea of a portable Skyrim is awesome. On the other hand, it reeks a little bit too much of the, hey, we have Batman Arkham Deluxe and Mass Effect 3,
Sure.
See, but I think that's what they have to do. We were talking about this a little bit before you came in, and I've been saying this for months now anyway. They've got to bring back those third parties.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be the same people buying this that bought the Wii U, which means it's going to go nowhere.
I think the inevitable strategy to bringing back third parties means getting ports of games that are already on other platforms, and then maybe later on down the line, if the Switch is successful, then they can have multi-platform games at launch. And to me, if I am deciding which platform I'm going to buy a game on, now with the Switch, as long as the games themselves are mostly comparable, for me and the convenience factor, I'd rather buy them on the Switch.
See, now I'm curious though what you think, because the road we seem to be going down here is, like you just said, it seems like we're gonna, if we don't have any backwards compatibility, which I'm almost certain we won't.
They've said that at least hardware wise it won't be backwards compatible.
We're talking about upgraded versions of Wii U games. So speaking as, I know everyone in this show has a Wii U. We've all played Mario Kart 8. We've all played Splatoon.
Yes.
How do you feel about the fact that it looks like they're going to be taking that tack where you're going to be getting those remakes of previous generation games? Are you going to be buying those?
Here's my thought on that. I will probably
Yes,
buy them.
says CJ.
Yeah, I wasn't really asking you because I know what your
Yeah.
answer is already.
Well, but you look at the support that Nintendo gave Mario Kart 8 after launch, and
Oh,
did
yeah,
the
it's
2
great.
DLC packs, which were absolutely fantastic. If in Mario Kart on the Switch you get more content, like a lot more tracks, or
then
they
I'll be
turn
pissed.
they turn it into a sort of platform where then they bring more Nintendo franchises into it and add more DLC or more features, I'm fine with that. I'll buy it again because I loved Mario Kart 8. And the same with Splatoon. They supported that game for a year on a basically dead system. If they are going to add more arenas, more customization to that, maybe a longer single-player mode, and do sort of a pseudo-sequel type of thing, I'm extremely interested in that.
Well, and I'll say myself that, despite my high enthusiasm for the machine, I think that there's also, unfortunately, an excellent chance that it will not live longer than 2 or 3 years and will actually be the very last of the gaming on the go premium experiences. I don't want that to be the case. Yeah, but I just because and I'll
My
tell you,
friend, you are a
Nvidia.
mystery
You're in
wrapped
the
in
market.
an enigma.
no. I mean,
I just
you
don't
can-
even know what what's
Dude.
gonna come out of your mouth next.
So remember, I love the Vita also, right? Just because it's perfect for me doesn't mean
even the Wii U, which is a failed platform, it went from 2012 to 2016. That's 4 years. So you're saying you don't expect this platform to be around more than 2 years? That's really
No. I didn't say that. I'm saying that wouldn't shock me, right? I'm
that
saying
would
that
shock
it could,
me.
Okay, it could fail pretty hard because it's not in a situation that I think is dramatically dissimilar to the Vita, right? Where it's targeting a very similar kind of mindset. Yes, you can connect it to the TV, but most of the people they're trying to target already has
really
a PlayStation.
I think it's really interesting, even in this group of 4, because the 2 of you that are most excited about this are coming at it from a completely different angle.
That's true.
You were talking, Ethan. You were talking about this as a portable console.
Yeah.
Which and whereas CJ is totally coming from the other angle, where it's a home console because that's where what Nintendo's positioning it as.
Well, and I expect that is going to be how I'm mostly going to play it at home.
But I guess what I'm getting at is this is the confusion I was talking about. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about before Ethan came in. You guys have literally proven the point I was making when Ethan came in.
The framing is
having to egg you on.
Nintendo framing it as a home console is smart and I think critical because, first of all, if they were framing it as a handheld, they'd get so much resistance to the idea of $60 for the games.
Sure.
As a console game, it makes perfect sense. Also, from a developer standpoint, developers, especially executives, are going to have like flashbacks to Vita, and that first year spending more money creating a Vita original than a 3DS and selling way fewer copies. So if they're positioning the Switch as something that no, this is a home console, that is going to feel much safer to invest in for third parties as well.
Yeah, sure.
I agree.
But again, like I say, that's where I feel, yes, you're right. They're going to position it that way. But you, as an example in here, that's not how you've been talking about it since you walked in.
Well, and I guess for me, though, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not, but I feel like the big thing that surprised me over the course of the past couple of years, and I think it's only going to accelerate, is I am more and more moving away from the television altogether. So this fits into that narrative really well, and the VR does also. So I think I'm going to play next year comparatively few PlayStation, traditional PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games, and almost all of my time is going to be on either VR or Switch.
Or remote played PS4 and Xbox
Possibly,
One
for sure. But what I'm saying is actually... Yeah. I mean, but the convenience, I will choose a Switch game over a PS4 game because I can carry it anywhere. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not to say that Nintendo couldn't also reveal additional configurations of the Switch, like a smaller one. Or...
Oh, God, I hope not. Seriously, no.
What about
also
a dock that has slots for two Switches?
No.
You think about moving away from the TV, though.
Let's call it the Switch Duo. Let's do it.
Think about how opposite this position is, though, than Sony with the PS Pro, which is really focusing on go get that 4K TV, right? This is take it on the go with you. Resolution doesn't matter so much. It's completely the opposite, and I love that.
Yeah, actually, it's really interesting about this announcement. it's basically just about the hardware, but we're not releasing any specs. Like there's no there's no details whether this will be 720p or 1080 or
The rumor is that
4K.
the rumor that I heard from a friend of mine was that the on screen will be 720.
Yes, I've heard that too.
And then I assume that when you put it on the television, it'll bump it up to 1080.
Yeah,
and I'll be fascinated
to not 4K. Like
no,
they're basically
right.
sidestepping the graphical race which is going on right now between Sony and Microsoft. I think Nintendo has to do that because they can't compete the other way.
Well, and again, this is where CJ and I are taking it from different angles because the first thing CJ says is not going to be 4K. First thing I'm thinking is this is a really powerful handheld, and I'm super
right. I think you watched the Digital Foundry video on the Switch, which is interesting to me because Digital Foundry is all about like what the frame rate is and what the resolution is.
Right.
And you have a guy on there saying like this is exciting because 720p on a handheld is going to be the most graphically intense portable system that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I agree that that part's certainly exciting.
See, but again, we're getting back to that. We're getting back to now it's a portable.
Right.
We're getting to the point where like, well, this is really this is a really good thing if we're talking about a portable system, but then in the same breath we're saying they shouldn't market it as a portable, they should market it as a console. The problem is once they market it as a console, then it starts getting compared to the PS4 Neo or whatever the hell, and like all those the Xbox and the PS4. Like it's so that's what I'm saying that I think because then when you do start looking at it from the position of being compared to an Xbox or a PS4, and you start looking at things like what is it like 4 gigs of RAM, not a whole lot of storage. Like the Xbox, the PS4, you're talking about terabytes of storage now,
right?
Yeah.
And the ability because it's a console that sits in your living room and goes nowhere else, plugging in an external hard drive. Right.
Sure.
Whereas now the rumor, I don't know if these have been announced or not, but the rumor is that this thing's not going to have a ton of storage, which I think is a big problem. And the reason, and that's why I wanted to get into this too, is like we haven't talked about what we think this thing is going to cost.
Yeah, so we should do that at the end.
Okay. But it will
Way
matter.
to kill it, Ethan.
It will matter, right? And that's what I'm getting at. It's like when you compare it, if you're going to start comparing it spec by spec, suddenly you want to be comparing it to a 3DS because it's a really super powerful portable system. But then you get into that whole, okay, so it better be a good price because it sure looks like a tablet. And if I can go buy a Kindle Fire for half that and it does a bunch of games too, plus everything else that a Kindle Fire does.
Shittily.
Well, whatever. You see what I'm saying, though, right? I mean, because whether we want to admit this or not, and whether you want to admit it, like whether Nintendo wanted to admit it with that video where we mentioned you don't see any children in the video, games are still for kids to a lot of people. Yes, that's we're all gamers. Yes, the average age of a gamer has gotten much older, but the kids market is still a huge market, especially for Nintendo.
Yeah. And kids will
so you're going to be competing with that stuff. Sure, they'll love it, but if it's like a $500 thing, no,
it better not be $500. They can't possibly.
That's why I want to get into it because that's what I want to get into it because you're still talking about a system that has a screen, right, and a lot of different bits and pieces. So they're going to have to save some money somewhere, and I wonder if they're going to be saving the money when it comes to RAM and storage and all that sort of fun stuff, which will cripple the system.
Could be, and in regards to storage anyway, at least the games are on cartridges, so you've got that going for it. Physical media is not dead yet, and Nintendo has had a brief history, but allowing you to put an SD card or a micro SD card in the system, and with the Wii U, you could attach an external hard drive.
But you don't. That's what I was getting at, though. You don't want to attach an external hard drive to this thing because you've just killed the portability.
Right, but they make SD cards up to 256 gigs now.
Oh, right. And
if
that's
you're
only
able to throw one of those in there, then you're not going to have to worry about cleaning the fridge out for a little while at least.
Yep. I'm mostly just trying to play devil's advocate on all this stuff because I know you guys are very starry-eyed about this thing. So.
Well, let's talk about price for a second. Let's leapfrog and talk about that now. I think we'll see this at $299 I think the pack-in will be Mario Kart, because even when Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U, I think that was a very strong game to pack in with that system. I know a lot of people personally who, when Mario Kart 8 came out, they bought a Wii U. So I could see that as being one of the big drivers to get people in. And of course, it may be a game that we don't know about yet that'll be that. I don't expect them.
How do you know there's going to be a pack-in?
I was going to say, will there be a pack-in?
I'm assuming that there will be.
Because that hasn't been a thing for quite a while, has it?
The Wii U has had Nintendo Land. The Wii had Wii Sports.
I suppose that's true. Nintendo still has it.
Various 3DS configurations have a game. I would expect there will be a game, and I actually would expect it to be one that has already been out on Wii U, so that when a Nintendo fan buys this system, they get Mario Kart.
They don't feel like they're being asked to buy a game they just bought
exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it would also fulfill a lot of other things too, where it's like that seems like a game that you would easily have linked play with.
Yep.
They've already, that would be a game where they even showed in the trailer where if you have the two Joy-Cons as two separate controllers,
so,
whatever the pack-in is, it'll be something that takes advantage of all those features for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, it should be.
What do you think the price
Mario would work?
What do you guys think on price?
Oh, $299.
Yeah, I feel like anything above $299 would be a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that is definitely true.
There's a lot of tech here, right? That's the thing that I'm curious. That's why I'm curious.
You can look at the. Oh, there
Ethan's had enough of this.
You can look at the NVIDIA Shield, for example, which is a very similar system that also has a Tegra processor in it, and they sell those, just the tablet alone, for $199.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't come with the controller, but you can get the Shield with a controller for $249. So I feel like $299 with a game, with the dock, and maybe even with the Joy-Con grip, I think you have a very appealing package there.
Yeah, I agree. I think $299 would be like the magic price point for sure.
Well, the magic price point is probably $199.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's the more realistic one. Then how's that?
Right. If you ask the internet how much, like, what do you want? What do you want this to be priced at? People are like, the cheapest price possible.
Well, yeah,
$199. I think
$299. Well, they'll fix that by going free to play within the first year.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we should in here for that.
Phil, what do you think? What do you think on price?
I already told you.
$299 also. $299. What do you think pack-in wise? What do you want to see?
Mario Kart sounds like the logical choice. The way you explain it. That seems like, unless they
that new Mario game is ready.
Unless they pull, they wouldn't include the Mario game.
I don't. No. Well,
no. I think they'd do something with a social bent to it.
Although it's possible that that Mario game might have a social bent.
Maybe.
I mean, that woman who was playing the Mario game in the trailer did take it over to that the rooftop party,
to her roof party, and
pulled out two controllers. Now they didn't show what was being played there, but
if it's not Mario Kart, it's gonna be it'll be some random unannounced Nintendo Land-ish sort of.
I could see it being some sort of party game.
Yeah, party game.
That's if it's not Mario Kart, it's going to be some sort of new party game type thing.
Mario Kart is the best party game they have.
Hey,
well, also they're going to want to do something that's going to show off snapping apart those separate controllers and being able to play, couch co-op style.
We covered this already. Einhorn.
Sorry.
Yeah,
keep up.
Maybe don't leave.
Yeah.
Hey, that was my computer restarting at the worst possible moment.
Amazing.
It's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the stuff that's not in the video. There are a lot of details, obviously, that are still to be announced, and Nintendo has said, according to the Wall Street Journal anyway, that there won't be any more games announced before the end of the year. So we may have a little bit, 2 months or so to wait until we hear about more games. But they talked a little bit about the power of the system, that it uses a variation of the NVIDIA Tegra processor, but we don't know the details of that, like how many pixels it can push and all that sort of thing, which honestly I don't care about, but there are people who do. They didn't talk about battery life yet, of course, and the rumor is that it'll be around 3 hours,
just like a Nomad.
Which I would point out, just like a Nomad. Also, the 3DS battery life is between 3 and 5 hours, and the Vita battery life for playing games is 3.5 hours.
You've gotten so used to mediocrity, Johnston, that you're willing to accept it now.
I'm used to it. Thing. Yes, and I hope Nintendo, because Nintendo has never made a USB charging cable for this.
This battery lasts more than 3 hours. I just want to point.
Not if you're playing graphically intensive games.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll just say that because you think it does, it doesn't.
There are graphically intensive games in this thing.
Yeah, Infinity Blade. You heard
that? It's funny. I was gonna reference the 5-year-old game as well, but yeah.
Because now spending that type of money to make that kind of game doesn't really make much sense. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Battery life, we've come to expect, between 3 and 5 hours. Plus, a lot of airplanes now are equipped with that little USB thing in the seat back. If Nintendo makes a USB power charging cable, it'd be easy enough to recharge that thing on a plane, which is fantastic.
Or in a car.
Or what?
Yep.
Or in a car. Yeah.
Or in a car, right? Then you have the battery packs. Like I have one by Anchor that can charge my phone like 6 additional times in one full charge of that thing. So, and I can hook anything up to it. I've hooked my iPhone, iPad, my MacBook, charged that with it. I've charged the Vita with that. So if you can do that, then battery life kind of disappears. Yes, it does suck that it's only 3 to 5 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is. But it can be gotten around.
I'm sorry. I just think that it's so funny. It's like, if you buy this extra peripheral or you're in these very specific situations and Nintendo makes this very specific piece of equipment, and then, the battery life isn't a problem.
Well, right now you can get a USB charger for the 3DS, but it's like a third-party thing, and I don't trust those things to not catch fire like a Samsung Galaxy Note 7. So, not going to buy that.
I just love your endlessly glass half full perspective on anything Nintendo.
But
that's right,
Craig. To be fair, it's like, if that's the case, it's simply not better than what you'd expect. If you were to guess sight unseen, how long the battery length would be, you would have said about 3 or 4 hours, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
The thing about saying the battery life is 3 hours. On paper, it doesn't sound great at all. Like, it sounds so terrible.
Yeah.
But, that's what the other systems, that's what our current situation is.
That's what I was getting at.
So, yeah. All right. And then storage, of course, the rumor is that dev kits have 32 gigs of onboard storage. Doesn't
necessarily mean that'll be the storage on the final unit.
Right. That doesn't mean that'll be storage. And since Nintendo has allowed expandable standard storage with SD cards and whatnot, I would expect that to be the case here.
Yeah, they will definitely not do the Sony proprietary memory for $125 for 64 gigs.
That does not make sense at all.
Nope.
No.
Then the screen, we don't really know much about it at all. We don't know what kind of display it is, OLED potentially.
Well, it may not be a touchscreen also. There's been heavy speculation on that.
They have not shown it being used as a touchscreen, but I believe the rumors are that it is a touchscreen. And then you have the
what's going to be go ahead.
The question of whether that means it'll run smartphone games and apps, like if Nintendo would bring Super Mario Run to the Switch as well and allow you to have cross-platform play via My Nintendo account.
Well, and for that sake, like Netflix or Hulu or Facebook or any of the other apps you're used to using, can this just function as a tablet?
God, I hope not. But then another question is Rumble or haptic feedback, whether it'll have that on the system itself or the Pro, or whether that'll be limited to the Pro controller, or does the grip have that? Like if you use the grip,
I would hope at least the grip would have that.
I would hope so too. Yeah.
Well, remembering going back to PS3 when they launched and didn't have it, it felt so painfully missing.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible indeed. We don't know anything about the social aspects of this machine. There is the rumor, of course, that the button that's on the Joy-Con L
is a share button of some kind.
Yeah, is a share button of some kind. We don't know what that'll do. Whether this thing will have Miiverse.
It'll post pictures that Nintendo will immediately send you a copyright hit for.
Well, on the social, I bet we can look pretty closely at Mitomo to get some general guidance on what Miiverse is going to be like or look like.
Well, that, and I think also the current state of Miiverse. They have updated it quite a few times during the Wii U days, and it's gotten a lot better, I think. I actually wonder whether they will allow you to post video clips from this thing. I think
that's what I was getting at. Nintendo's so notoriously weird about that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm thinking not necessarily stream to Twitch, but stream to Miiverse, and have that be the platform where you can not only stream and or post video clips, but also stream live,
right,
to Miiverse, and have them build that out right there in their own thing. Then they are selling ads on Miiverse. Like if you go to the Miiverse site, you'll see a lot of display ads and banner ads that Nintendo is at least making some money on. And then there's the question of Virtual Console.
That's a big one. I really hope they do the rumored Netflix-style subscription plan.
I haven't heard that being rumored. I've heard that only as being like
I've heard that rumored in my
dreams. Yeah, please do a Netflix-style service. I have not heard any sort of concrete anything regarding that.
If I remember correctly, and I may be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that when that was talked about on Kinda Funny, it was drawn from a survey that Nintendo was doing. The idea of like, how do you want your retro games presented to you? And one of the options was something along the lines of a Netflix service. Obviously, it doesn't mean that's going to happen, but at least it sounds like they're trying to find out if that's something that people would like. What my guess would be, there's a decent chance, since they've already had to sell those products over and over again, that they may be more prone to do something that's similar to a PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold, where part of that is to get in part or full those types of games. Maybe it's a rotating selection for people who are not paying an additional subscription. Maybe it is the whole deal. But I bet you one way or the other, you're going to get a PS Plus type equivalent this time around.
I think that you're going to see something along the lines of PS Plus or Gold, where you have to pay to play online. I think that might be a thing. They've been lagging behind doing that. It makes sense for them to do it. I think that it's being extremely optimistic to think that they're going to change their ways and not just say, "Hey, if you give us $1.50, you can re-download this game you bought twice already on the new Virtual Console." Just because that's what they've been doing.
Right.
I would expect to see that return.
Yeah.
And maybe even if you bought Wii U games digitally, maybe you get a discount on the Switch version. That would be fingers crossed for releases of all digital on Wii U.
I think that's hopeful, but
I'm not like expecting that at all.
No.
Best not to expect it and be surprised if it happens. Then
I think Virtual Console will be there. My big question is, are we going to get something that's more robust for that, like we did with the original Wii, or is it going to be this disappointingly stripped down thing that we got with the Wii U? Because Wii U, there's no Genesis, there's very limited TurboGrafx. There's no C64 or Neo Geo. They had so many cool things in the original. Will it be like that?
Probably not. I would be shocked. It'd be great if they did.
I
mean, I don't know. They've
really
made strides, like even doing things like the Pixel Perfect Super Nintendo games on the 3DS. Like, it shows that they do care about this. So maybe, but I don't know. I'm kind of like CJ. I'm going to keep my expectations really low when it comes to Virtual Console. So anything good is going to be a very pleasant surprise.
To me, that is the best course of action there.
Yeah.
Those expectations low. It's rumored that the system will be region-free, which I know a lot of people care about. I personally have never cared about it, or I haven't cared about that since 2005.
I was about to say, I cared about it more in the old days.
In the old days, yes. Yeah. Now it's not so much, but it'll be a nice to have if it happens. Yeah. Then we have connectivity, of course, whether it'll be Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, for your Amiibo and where the NFC reader is going to be, if it's going to be in the tablet or...
There were Amiibo in that video.
That's right. As
So
the woman who was playing Mario,
was
sure
she
that's
really?
what happened.
she had Amiibo next to her television.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
pretty sure
guessing
that'll happen.
since neither the Wii or the Wii U actually had an Ethernet adapter, I would imagine this will continue that and won't have an Ethernet cable on the dock itself.
And not that it matters, by the way, but when's the last time any of you bought an Amiibo?
I'm going to buy Boo when he comes out.
I pre-ordered the Zelda Amiibo, so those are still to come in early December.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're still buying.
Okay. I have the 8-bit Link pre-ordered.
That's cool.
Yeah, I might get that as well.
Yeah.
I think the last one I bought was the 3-pack with Rob and Duck Hunt and I forget who else was. Oh, Game and Watch, Mr. Game and Watch.
Yeah. So, the investor meeting that is coming up this week. Maybe we'll get a few more details.
Interesting to note that didn't their stock go down when they announced
it? Went up and then it went down.
Yeah, up and then down. Yeah, it went up 6% and then down 6%. So I don't know if you can really. That happens.
Apparently that's a thing though. So
same thing with the iPhone announcements.
7
goes down for those two. So not like it's unheard of, but we'll probably see some additional news from that.
So here's what I wonder is allocation at launch. Is this going to be a hard thing to get, or is it going to be pretty easy? Because, when 3DS and Wii U came out, they were not supply constrained. In both cases, I was able to just walk in and buy them.
Is that a thing anymore? It doesn't feel like it's been a thing for console launches in a while now.
To me, the thing that holds this back is, so they've announced the March 2017 release date. I assume that's for all territories. So that right there presents a slight complication. And then on top of that, Nintendo generally doesn't like to overproduce. Like we saw that with Amiibo. We've seen that with other systems that they've done, the Wii, for many months.
I love that you're calling it they don't like to overproduce when I would call it they like to create a false sense of high demand.
I don't think that's the case. I think especially now,
wrong.
I think they want to sell as many as they could, and if they turn people away in March, that's going to be bad for them. So I don't see them doing that. Hopefully they will be able to make enough, but we have a situation now where Nintendo is going to release a game or a system in a month's time with the Nintendo NES Mini, and there are no pre-orders, and we have no idea like what the allocations on that are going to be, and whether that's going to be easy to find or hard to find.
Which, like I say, is creating what is potentially a false sense of
scarcity,
high demand, and low availability when we really have no information.
No,
that's what I'm saying. I still maintain that you're going to be able to go and buy one of those things day one. No
I think
which
probably.
One? The Switch?
The classic.
Oh yeah.
But
what I'm thinking is let's see what happens with that, and I think that'll be an indicator for what will happen with the Nintendo Switch.
Because I feel a recent example is the PSVR. Because
I was about to say
PSVR, they did pre-orders, and it's like, the pre-orders were sold out in an hour. So, wow, they're going to be so hard to get. And then launch day, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen them in stores.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just I don't know. It's a pretty standard tactic. So
yeah, I like this console future where you don't have to worry about getting it day one.
Yeah.
Well, but again, remember PS4 and Xbox One, they really were supply constrained when they came out. You couldn't day one just go to the store and pick up a PS4.
Couldn't you?
At least not that I remember. I had
ordered mine on Amazon.
So I don't know anyone who wanted one that couldn't get one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, that's great. As I said, I hope so because I'm trying to get two. So
what I would love to see that probably won't happen is, and I talked about this with Kevin Larrabee on Back of My Play this past weekend. If you guys want to go listen to that, I'll post that link in the show notes. We talked all about the Switch, and I thought it'd be interesting if Nintendo allowed you to pre-order via the eShop on Wii U.
Ha, that would be great.
Because then you have to have a Wii U to to even order the thing from Nintendo, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that.
Wow.
Make it happen, Nintendo. They probably won't.
Lowest pre-order numbers ever.
No, I mean, in addition to, I mean, obviously, that wouldn't be
Sorry.
the only way you can order it.
I think it should be. I think that'd be hilarious.
A way that you could order it is via the Wii U. That'd be fun. And apparently,
those numbers.
already, you know, the notifications that come through on the Wii U gamepad that a new game has come out, or you'll get some marketing there when you wake it up.
Mhm.
Apparently, that is showing the Nintendo Switch video.
Oh, cool. I haven't had mine pop up in a few days, so
Yeah.
One thing that's a little scary to me, though, is I've seen a lot of friends of mine in the games industry on Facebook saying something to the equivalent of, this looks cool, but I don't know where I'm going to fit it into my gaming. And a lot of people who just, again, don't really do portable gaming, or if they do, it's the phone. And at home, they already have their PS4 and their Xbox, and they don't necessarily know if it's possible for them to make time to play this thing. I see it as a replacement, and that's why I'm so compelled. But people that see it as an addition, maybe it's not a compelling enough proposal.
that's why. And this goes back to what I was saying a lot earlier, talking about bringing the third parties back in. I think it'll be a huge selling point for them if they can say that if the system's powerful enough and easy enough to port things to, that they can say that the new Assassin's Creed is on all three systems. If you get the Switch version, it's also portable. That'll be a huge boon, I think, for that system, for people that
definitely
matters to, right? Again, if they just make it so that it's too difficult for third parties to make games for this thing, it's going to turn into a Nintendo games only system once more. The fact that it's portable is still going to be a huge boon, but you're still going to run into the same problems you have with Wii U.
Well, and actually something we've never seen before that I think is important to point out here is in the past it's always been like the fear that you'd have the good version, quote unquote, and the gimped version, right? If we're at a level from a platform standpoint where, you can have it on all three, the conversation isn't going to be, either you get the good PS4 one or the kind of gimpy Switch one, because what's going to happen is they're going to say you can play the awesome HDR 4K one on the Pro and the Serpico, right? The Scorpio. Sorry.
No, keep using Serpico. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
And so that's the really, really good one. And then kind of middle of the road is going to be the others. And maybe the Switch is lower end compared to PS4, Xbox One, but it's, I think, going to get bunched together if it runs it at all. And
I absolutely agree.
Benefit. Yeah.
And the thing is that what you're saying is, the big 4K blah, blah, blah version, that's going to appeal to such a small market at first.
Yeah.
So again, like having it on a system that I can just pick up and take with me to bed or on the plane or whatever, it'll be a huge thing. As long as it's comparable, as long as it doesn't feel stunted somehow, it'll be huge.
Yeah.
Like if you can just go play Watch Dogs 2 on that, awesome.
Yeah.
That's the game you're going to want to play on it.
I'm just saying
Aliens Colonial Marine? Will there be a version of
the one you went with.
Colonial Marine on there?
If you got a half hour, I can tell you why that game's better than people think.
No, we don't.
No, but it could be, games like Resident Evil 7, for instance, or Far Cry Primal, let's say. I can't play that necessarily on the TV while my daughter is sitting right there. But if I had a Switch, I could take it on the private screen and play it there.
That to me is like, I know you're going to get to this question anyway, CJ, and you're going to ask us if we're all going to buy this thing. Do we even have to ask? No, I don't know. I mean, maybe I know your guys' answer. Yeah. I don't know about Phil for sure, but I assume you're going to get
I'm going to get it.
Come on.
I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one too, but that for me will be a huge differentiator. Right now, I tend to buy the PS4 version of almost anything.
Same.
But if we get to the point where these third-party games, I can have a portable version that I can also play on my TV and it looks pretty much the same, then I will be buying the Switch version. Absolutely.
Yeah. And to me, one of the first fronts that works in are indie games and digital-only games. Like, I don't think you will see, at least initially, a lot of AAA doing simultaneous releases. But if, and this is a big if, like who really knows, if the Switch takes off and that becomes a preferred platform for a lot of people, I would expect it won't be a situation like Wii U where, EA or Warner Brothers just doesn't announce a Switch version of the thing for a long time, or decides not to do all the DLC for the Switch version, which happened during the Wii U life, or doesn't update the Switch version, keep it in line with the updates that the other consoles are getting. I think that will be fixed if people are actually buying this thing. I think we'll start off with ports of old games. I think indie games will be the first to be simultaneously launched on everything, and then hopefully everything else will follow.
That it's become mass market when hotels have the Switch docking bays, so that when you travel, you can just pop them in there and play on the TV.
Actually, that's kind of an interesting angle that I didn't even think of. Yeah, if they had just the dock next to the TV where you could do that. Yep. I almost never turn the TV on in hotels anymore.
I agree, but you may there. And if you think about, again, they did that with, they made a lot of the stereos dockable with your iPhone, right?
That's true. And I don't think the Switch is going to get that. let's not go crazy.
But remember when you had the, Nintendo machines that were in hotel rooms? Where you could,
the horrible N64 controllers.
Yeah. yes.
I do remember that. So I'm buying one for sure.
I'm buying two.
Ethan's buying two. Greg, what do you think?
I'll buy one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
buying one.
Price. Yeah. Being, assuming that $299 price point, because in Canada that'll be like $350 or more, but.
Yeah. Well, and I want to double check. All of us also bought day one both the Wii U and the 3DS, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that as we
Which
get
means this panel is not indicative of the the market at all.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah. But you got to wonder, even with the core, how many people are actually more excited about this than PS4 Pro, for instance?
I think that'll be I think it'll be interesting to see how PS4 Pro does in the market, and it's still available for pre-order on Amazon. So
wow,
yeah, or it was a few days ago anyway. Shall we do some tweets? Because I did ask, I put a call out for people's reaction to the Switch, and then we can wrap this thing up.
Okay. Sure.
These aren't questions necessarily, but they're tweets from our list.
We don't necessarily have answers.
The one thing, either before or after, having picked up now a PSVR myself, I learned something about the shifting that I would like to share with people, which again I can do now or later.
Let's do that next episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as we could have a big discussion about that, and it's getting late.
Indeed.
Got it.
Hacker alias Sean Nola says, as your number 2 Vita fanboy, I'm looking forward to the would-be future Vita library finding a new home on the Switch. That's pretty good. Hacker alias Space Kappa, friend of the show, Joe Walker, says, it was great. Showed what the system is, how it works, and how it's different. Total opposite of Wii U's reveal. Yeah, that Wii U.
I think that's a good point. Yeah. It's much clearer what this machine is and what it does, and it feels like a very different product. The Wii U is really confusing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hacker alias Tayrell713 says, it was literally everything I wanted, and I'm not sure how to deal with that. And then on the other side of things, Hacker alias Thorbon3 says that he was underwhelmed. It's a portable Wii U. I have a Wii U, and I don't want to drag a tablet around with me.
That's fair.
Completely fair.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah. Hacker alias the Dutch Slayer says, looks great, but need more details on basically everything, and early 2017 details plus release is a weird way of presenting it.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show us any new. They showed us the 6 seconds of the new Mario game, but that's it. Like everything else was either an already released game or like a revamped thing. So, yeah, I can't wait to see what new software Nintendo has on this thing.
Yeah.
Hacker alias Chris Tilton says, I'm excited. I like being able to easily get my feet wet with the game and then playing longer sessions on TV when I have the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, by the way, quick thing before I forget to mention it. We were talking Virtual Console before. I wonder if that's going to be any less appealing given that there's no real D-pad on this thing.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Oh,
That will definitely
no
be an issue
D-pad.
for Virtual Console. I hadn't thought about that.
Although there is a D-pad on the Pro controller. And I imagine that, we're not limited. Nintendo could always sell a different Joy-Con L that has a D-pad.
They could, although I really hope they don't start going down that road.
Yeah.
That would be a pain. Yeah. It's just, again, like whenever you're trying to play something like a SNES game with an analog stick, it feels really shitty.
Oh, yeah.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Hacker Alias Mindwater says Nintendo are, for the first time in decades, pouring all their resources into a single platform. Questions remain, but I'm enthusiastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good point.
Hacker Alias Hind D
ID.
I love that name.
says, watched it with my 3-year-old. She can't wait for the new Mario game.
Keep waiting.
All right. Hacker Alias Clive Farr says, using game cards, could the Switch play 3DS games?
I think it's already been stated that it won't.
They said that it will not. Yeah. A lot of excited people. Grim Grinning Guy says, I am so excited.
He just can't
How
hide
excited
it.
are you?
Yeah.
He's about to lose control, and he thinks he likes it.
Sacred Crayon says, looks cool, but those connected controllers look tiny.
Yeah, I have to say, when you split them into the two controllers, they are minuscule looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although one thing I want to point out, I also really loved the whole dock that they were using in that van.
Oh, the car dock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I could
Yeah.
see setting that up with my kids for a long trip.
I
But
could see
not your
that.
25-year-old friends where you're going to
No,
drive.
that was just
go-kart.
creepy. But
Well, and here's one other thing. I think that when I dock that thing, I'm not taking the little controllers off ever. I think I'm going to dock it and just use the Pro controller and leave the controllers
you're
on.
gonna buy $500 worth of Pro controllers.
Or use the
Big
grip.
March coming up.
Use the grip. It'll probably come with that, right? I'd imagine it will.
The what? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would assume it does.
On
Yeah.
grip.
Yeah.
All right. Hacker Alias Ygraph says, video was embarrassingly terrible. Music was annoying. Hardware was great and very exciting. Looks like a nice Vita successor.
Nomad 2, Sega Nomad 2.
Vita 2.
More like the Turbo Express 2.
No, Turbo Express didn't go on TV. You had to have two separate pieces of hardware for that.
Yeah, whatever.
No, no, you don't get to just shrug that off.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a truth right there. That's a
Whatever.
truth fact.
Truth bomb. What about the PS1 with the little screen?
Well, yeah, but that came after the Nomads, so you see my point.
Can we talk about the best part of the video?
Well, we haven't already.
He was 21 years old, and
The click sound effect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How great, how satisfying was that click sound effect?
I don't know
That
what we're
played
talking
every
about.
good.
Oh, they
It
played
played
the
when-
sound effect like 8 times in the video.
Whenever they show the logo and you see the little pieces.
The
Oh,
transition
yeah.
between the various scenes.
Yeah, that click. Oh man.
Well, and I've not heard anyone else mention this, but I think that part of the name is also kind of the indication of like, hey, maybe you want to switch to Nintendo.
Oh really?
Wow, I had never thought of that, Ethan.
It just occurred to you, did it?
Well, I haven't heard anyone else say it.
Wait a
unless
sec.
you-
Wait
I
a
thought that was
second.
the only reason they called it that.
Wait a
No,
second.
no.
But we like all of us, like we are playing the game.
Holy crap!
Are
you
playing
saying-
sports? We are having a party,
That's what I mean, isn't it?
guys.
Yeah.
Guys, holy free holies! Wait,
Hacker
Nintendo
Alias.
Entertainment System? Oh, they
Yeah.
want us to be entertained while we play their system.
Now you're just going too far.
Yeah, Hacker Alias Eric DM08 says, interesting to see how Nintendo marketed the game to younger adults. Didn't see any family moments. I'm definitely interested.
I believe they're called millennials.
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 Hipsters.
Yeah. Hacker Alias Cheesecake Jones, so hyped. My kids are most excited by the idea of Pokemon/Animal Crossing on the big screen. I can't wait for Zelda on the go.
Oh yeah! Now that Nintendo isn't going to have a portable system, a dedicated portable system, does that mean we'll finally get a real Pokemon game on the big screen?
Oh,
Not that
man.
I'll play it, but that seems like a major development.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
Probably.
Mobile only. Mobile phones only. You heard it here first. Pokemon
You know
is
what?
mobile only.
Pokemon, there will be a new mainline Pokemon game for the Switch, but it will only function if you have the, screen off the dock. Yeah.
No.
Once
Should
you
be
place
absolutely
it in the dock, a little
Just a
message comes up on the
screensaver that
screen.
shows up on your screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please
look
remove from
down.
dock in order to play.
Yes. Hacker alias Worth Nintendo says, with the Switch being a single screen experience, any thoughts about dual screen gaming and will you miss it? Also, what's your favorite use of it? So yeah,
If I'll miss it. I mean,
Nope.
it's nice.
I will not miss 3D. I will not miss touch control, and I will not miss dual screens. I'm fine with it the way it is.
Yeah, the only game that I really cared about dual screens on was Splatoon, where you could see the map while you're playing. But I imagine it will be just fine on a single screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I'm fine with that.
Precisely.
Yeah, I liked Pikmin 3 with the dual screen. That was really fun. Yeah, obviously Super Mario Maker. If they do a version of it on the Switch, it'll
When they
when
bring
they,
it to
when they
Switch.
do a version for the Switch, then editing courses and whatnot, you'll have to take the system off of the dock.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah,
Really?
I would imagine. What are you going to edit courses with a control pad, like some kind of
Caveman.
Neanderthal?
But it seems like
Seems like what?
nothing.
Hmm.
Hacker alias D-Rock Box 1 says, how many bits of the console will I lose within the first 6 months? Will the screen scratch going in the dock? Will
your
long-term
children be playing it?
Yeah, like-
AAA third-party support really happen? Will I be playing Android ports on it in a year as it is ARM CPU based? Will I actually buy one now that I think about? Maybe. Will I stop adding tweets? Yes. I lied. Just found out about NBA 2K17 is not actually confirmed, and neither is Skyrim. What? Yeah.
This guy just going through some things.
Yeah, he had a couple of.
I think that's a very valid concern.
Yeah, losing
It's
parts.
become an
especially
expensive Android box with Nintendo games.
The screen scratching.
I would love if they did actually just release NBA 2K11 instead.
We give you a port of an old. Hacker Alias Radical Defect says, hope it launches with something besides Zelda and Wii U ports. Would love to play that new Mario while everyone else enjoys Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I
can't see him sipping those at the same time.
No. Hacker Alias Joel W. Music says, as someone who is on the road a lot, I could only be more excited if it also plays Wii U games because I missed out on that system. Either way, I'm in.
He's the perfect audience. He's the one who's going to love Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
From what I understand, the system is pretty much just a bunch of unsold Ouya's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go. Hacker Alias Jerkface Killa says, as an adult commuter who has a 35-minute train ride every morning, the idea of having a system that allows me to play the same games I play at home on my TV is very appealing. Yeah. I won't have to be divided between portable and console games. It won't take twice as long to finish games. I'm pumped. I plan on picking up a Switch day one. For context, I skipped the Wii U because I didn't see enough value in it.
That's super cool, and it almost makes me wish I still had a commute via public transportation to work. Now I just drive into work and park and go inside, so there's not really as much opportunity to do that. But to be able to use it on the subway, yeah.
All righty.
There you go.
I think that's it.
What do you guys think about the rumors that Nintendo is going to be changing the name when they bring the system to the U.S.? The Nintendo Panic in the
Nice.
West.
I like that. That's good.
You like that?
Oh, okay.
That's old
That
school.
took me a second.
Yeah,
That took me a
that's
second. Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're curious
And
what Phil's talking about, you should go look up Welco Mitat He Next T Level on PlayerOnePodcast.com.
There you go.
And look up Panic.
Look up Panic.
That
Sega
game's
CD
not very
reference.
good.
That game is outstanding.
You're not very good. How about that, Einhorn?
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not-
Am I doing it right,
Hey.
Phil?
Yes.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm just saying it's not as good as Kaya. That's it.
Well,
This show's over. Play the music.
All
after
right.
10 years,
That
finally.
is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening to this episode and all the other episodes that you happen to listen to, whether that's all 519 that came before or just a few. We thank you so much for being a listener. This is why we continue to do this thing every week and why we don't skip on holiday weekends. Also because we don't have any lives. That's probably part of it. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something that you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Go check out the one on Panic.
That's right. I'll link to that in the show notes so people can easily find it. And you'll find Generation 16 episodes there too.
I'm just about finished the first segment of episode 19.
Very nice. Very
Cool.
nice indeed. And you'll find a message board where you can discuss the Nintendo Switch and this episode and all of our episodes with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99
Cheap.
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users, if you'd like to subscribe, or if you'd like the whatever thing it is, you can do it. But you know what? Who cares?
It's also cheap, if anyone's wondering.
Also,
It's over
cheap.
there, the Amazon Android Marketplace.
If you want the Player One Podcast app on your new Nintendo Switch,
yes, just send CJ an email, and
that'll be on the
I'll make that happen.
It'll be on
We'll
the
get
Android
right on
store.
that. Yes, you can like us on Facebook. We're also on Stitcher Radio,
Switcher.
Skitchin Radio. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast, throw a few shekels our way, because we got to pay for our Switches somehow, folks.
Oh, I like that
You-
idea.
Yeah.
You have 4 to 7 Switches to purchase for all of us, folks.
No. Ethan gets one. That's it.
Oh,
He gets
okay.
one.
Okay. Ethan gets one.
Baby gets
Sorry.
one.
It's okay. So you guys out there, we've been doing this for 10 years. You owe us more Switches. So now's the time. Start forking it over. Time to throw us $2 bills, y'all. And we'll use it to keep the forums running and hosting
Yes.
hosting the shows and whatever that other stuff you can do. And if you have a couple bucks left over after that, head over to generation-16.com where you'll find a Patreon link for Greg Dewart's fantastic series about the company behind
The original
the
Nintendo Switch.
portable system that paved the way.
They pioneered it.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, go look at the
Portable
feature
Pioneer.
list. It's exactly the same. You could
Generation.
put feature lists side by side and then switch the names, and they'd still be exactly the same.
Detachable
what?
controllers? What?
Oh,
Yeah, detachable controller. Yep.
yeah, you could plug a controller into the
Well, but not. You couldn't disconnect
Yes,
the
you
Facebook.
could, baby.
beep, beep, beep. Chris Johnston moving that goalpost. And you know what, though? The Nomad had one up on the Switch because
Play
I
Genesis games.
can't play the Ooze
Right.
On-
Right. The
on
virtual
Switch.
unless they bring Genesis games back to the virtual console,
Unless
which
the
could
ooze,
happen.
technically have a leg up.
Unless the ooze comes back to the ooze.
In 2 years' time, when that actually happens, then we'll call back
Can't-
to this episode.
Can't play Vector Man 2 on there now, can ya?
Nope.
Okay,
Not that we know
CJ,
of. Yeah.
10 years of my life.
Yep. Let's
Thanks
let's do it for another 10.
Thanks for wasting that.
Really? God, I can't imagine sitting here in my 50s still doing this. So depressing.
Gather around, kids. Let's talk about this.
Quiet, everybody. An old man's talking.
The Switch 4 is going to be great, I think. And Gregory,
You noticed the chat, I see.
Hey, so Greg, Stuart, if we get to 10 more years, though, can we finally drop the sort of fourth chair designation?
No, I don't know.
No.
It took Phil a long time to be anything but a guest host.
how late did you show up today? That doesn't show dedication.
Yeah. You know what? I think maybe we were ready to drop it, and you dropped the ball, my friend.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks. And I just want to call out, of course, Extra Life coming up.
Oh, yes.
Game day for me is November 19th. I'm getting close to $2,000 raised. I'm hoping for over 5,000 raised. So please go to extra-life.org/participants/Stuart if you haven't already. If you donate $30 or more, you get to pick what game I play for an hour that day. We're playing NES/Famicom/Famicom Disk System games this year. And giving away some cool prizes. I have over, I think, 50 game codes to give away during that 24-hour span at this point. And a bunch of cool stuff to give away as raffle prizes as well. So please go check it out, and please give if you can.
Where are you getting all these game codes? You got some
Wonderful people who donate stuff like that every year.
You got some sort of like shady key generator website that you're going to?
No, that's
Getting
for me.
stolen?
That's for my own personal use.
Oh, okay. Then that's okay. Ethan.
Yes, thanks for having me again. And I do actually want to drop something new, just briefly here. We, on Facebook and Twitter, have Midas Touch Games, which we're updating every single day. And really, we're just focusing on talking about all of the best VR games that are on the market for all of the platforms. So it's not just about our games. In fact, most of the time, we're just talking about what's hot and new this week and would like to start a conversation. So if you love VR, please check out on Facebook and Twitter, Midas Touch Games. I'm going to be posting every day.
All right.
So,
Cool.
there you go. Cool. And, geez, is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's 10 years in the can.
Are we done?
Done.
10
Do
years.
this again next week.
Let's, we really? We're
We can
starting
talk
this
about
all
what we
over
did
again?
next week.
We can talk about
Okay.
something other than
We
Nintendo
could
Switch.
talk about Bully next week. It'd like be restarting the whole decade.
Yeah. We're
Let's talk about
rebooting the show.
the Wii launch.
Well, we just did the Nintendo console launch. Well, let's do now. Bully is next.
Yeah.
Hey, if I can suggest once in a while having now a 10 years ago today piece would be kind of
That means
interesting.
somebody would have to go back and listen to those things.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Are you volunteering?
Maybe.
No, you're not.
No. Join us next week for what we were calling a soft reboot of the show, where we'll just be replaying episodes from 10 years ago. How about
Yeah.
that?
Sounds good to me.
That'll save us a lot of effort. For
It'll
the
be
next
like the Bully Game Club, really.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks.